Welcome to Northern Threads Quilt Shop in Fairbanks, Alaska. Now, every quilt shop, of course, has demos on the wall, different samples that you can make. This one, however, this shop is a little bit unique. Something I don't think I've ever run across before. This shop was actually opened in the late 90s by Marie Noah. I had not heard that name before, but she is a quilt designer, and the quilts that you're seeing on the wall are her patterns. They're everywhere in this shop. Beautiful, beautiful patterns. And also, as you can see, there's bags and other different items. It isn't all just quilts. She's very creative, and I just love her work. But the one thing that's a little different is this shop is really set up for her patterns. So this made it a little tricky to pick other fabric. Not that there isn't other fabric there. There's plenty of fabric to choose from. But this would be the place that if you had seen a Marie Noah quilt pattern, isn't that gorgeous? And you wanted to make it, this is where you would get the fabric for it along with the pattern, because it's all there, just what you need. It was a little distracting, actually, because usually I see all these wonderful quilts and all these different samples, and they're fun to look at. But we're kind of on a mission. We're trying to find fabric for size moose quilt, and I'm trying to pick fabric for my trip stuff. And you just kind of have this purpose in mind. And this shop, I was just blown away by just looking at her patterns. And so we kept wandering around looking at those. Kind of forgot to get on with what we were supposed to be doing for a while. We did hear that this shop is actually for sale, or was for sale when we were there, and that there was possibility that there might be a new owner soon. We don't know about that, but just beautiful, beautiful work, and so creative. And very, of course, uniquely Alaska. I think if you only had one shop and you had gone to Alaska and you wanted to say, I want to make a small quilt and I want it to look like Alaska, this would be the place I would go. I would go and I would buy one of her patterns and buy the fabric there that you would need for it. And it would be like the most Alaska thing there. Now they do also have yarn, because the people that work in the shop also crochet and knit. So there are other types of projects available. Again, it isn't all quilts, but just an amazing place to visit. Amazing, beautiful works to see. And of course, all the regular supplies, threads and needles and seam rippers, everything that you normally need. I believe they sell and service machines as well. So totally full service, but definitely geared specifically for her patterns. This is the kind of place that you could walk around and be like, oh, I want to make that. Oh, I want to make that. Oh, I want to make that one too. Just one thing after another. And I love that so much of it incorporates piecing with applique work. There you can see Sai and I are busy discussing different fabrics for her mousse, trying out some different things and seeing, well, this look really good there with the fabrics that we already have. So, Northern Threads from Fairbanks, Alaska. And this is the fabric that we chose. We have this beautiful pine cone fabric, batik, and a light blue and a dark blue batik. These are, of course, going along with the theme of blue, brown, or green, and also things that might look good with Keith's mousse quilt. Can't say that. So, aren't they pretty? So I've got a little side project again, since Christmas is approaching. I have my other projects that I need to get done, but I wanted to work on something fun. This is a pattern that I bought when we went to Utah, when we were supposed to go to the eclipse, and then that didn't happen. But this is the cute little thing that we bought from the shop. So this is related to travel, sort of. Because I did buy it on our trip, and so I'm going to work on this. Isn't it adorable? This is by Wooden Spool Designs. I have a little bit of wool that's left over from a project that we did for Keith earlier this year, and I looked at the pieces, and this red bits here and here are just barely big enough to work. And this is not actually black, which the background calls for, but it is super dark navy blue, and it looks a lot like black. And there's a lot of it, so I was able to use that for the backing piece as well. So now I'm going to go start cutting out, tracing pieces and cutting out pieces. So I've got my pieces traced. I don't know about you, I use freezer paper for different things, and I have little bits that get left over, and I save them because every once in a while you just need some little piece. And so I used up a lot of my little odd pieces tracing my freezer paper shapes for my little pattern. So now it's ready to start pressing these to the wool, and then I can cut them out. So this is an update on the Santa. I didn't realize that I hadn't videoed anything since getting it started. So I had all my pattern pieces that I traced, and I cut them out. Here's some that I still haven't gotten attached yet, his little cuffs. And so each piece goes on, and there's diagrams that show you what order to put them on. And then you blanket stitch around them. And like this one, the red, you don't do all of it so that you can put the mittens underneath it. So the mittens are on there and they're ready to go, and that will be the next thing I'm going to do, is blanket stitch around those. And then I have my little cuff pieces, which will go there, and I'll blanket stitch around that, which will also, I think, tack the rest of the red down. So anyway, he's getting actually kind of close to done. I might actually get him done in time for Christmas. That would be lovely. and he's been a lot of fun to work on. I have found a couple small mistakes. I haven't checked their website to see if they actually have them listed, but they've been pretty minor, like an extra piece cut for one of the mustaches, and originally the pom-pom says to cut it out in red instead of white. So again, pretty minor, but it's been a lot of fun to put together, and I can't wait to get it finished. So that's where we're at so far.